Good evening, everyone. Happy spring. It is here. I'm so glad that you're with us tonight. It is time to celebrate this season of rebirth and renewal and reawakening. And that's what we're going to do this evening. Our spin into the stillness, we're still going to meditate. We are still going to set an intention as we do every week. And we're going to just bolster our information, our prompts, our creative prompts, or our messages, if you will, by adding another card, which we do on each of the seasonal transitions. I love to work with, or we have worked with in the past, the Earth Magic cards. And so today we will be reading the one about the spring equinox, and using that card and adding that card to the card that we draw from the Oracle deck, and using those two cards as our reading, as our insight, as our focus for this evening as we prepare for and set intentions for this coming season of spring awakening. And as I said before, we begin by setting an intention for our meditation. And that just means articulating in some way, either writing it down or you can commit it to memory, but some way that we can state this intention. And because this is the first full day of spring, let's think about setting that intention for springtime. What do we hope to accomplish between now and June, when the light has come and returned and will be longer than our dark hours in June? Yesterday, 11:06 p.m., our daylight hours were equal to our nighttime hours, the equinox. And so with this beautiful calibration, this balance that we have for tonight and for the beginning of spring, we can use this time to really envision how we would like to see and make good use of the coming of the light in our lives. So let's get started by setting that intention, shall we? And so this is for spring, so it can be a little greater in scope perhaps than we've been making from week to week in the past. But springtime is what a great season. It is my personal favorite season. If you're living in the Washington, D.C. area, it is definitely our finest hour in Washington, D.C. You'll see behind me this beautiful parasol that my beautiful friend Kathleen gifted me last year when we went to see the cherry blossoms in bloom, as we do every year. And we passed these parasols. I'd always wanted one ever since I was a kid. And I was going to march over and buy it, and she then marched over and purchased it for me. So it is my background tonight, a reminder that it is spring, and I love it so much. I love the birds chirping. I love the crisp mornings. Love everything about it. So what is your intention for your meditation, maybe for your spiritual practice this coming spring? How can you bolster it? How can you really apply it to your life in the coming months? That's what you want to do when you're setting the intention for tonight. We will also, of course, go into the stillness, and you'll receive even more information as we have a dialogue with our deep self. But for now, your spiritual practice, your meditative practice, what would you like to see happen for you in the coming months in spring? How are you awakening this spring? Which is, I guess, the best way to put it. How are you awakening this spring? Let's have those moments to write it down. So I've written mine down, again, for the spring, answering the question, how do I intend to awaken? What do I intend to awaken this spring? And that we will put there, and that will draw energy from the meditation. And now, because if we were in person, I would ask you to, or invite you to, write your intentions down on a little slip of paper, just like this one. And then I would collect those pieces of paper at the end of the meditation, and we would throw them into a beautiful burning bowl. We would throw them into the flames where they can burn up, return to the earth, and then return to us, those intentions. Once we let them go, once we release them and release our attachment to them, we have the opportunity then to allow them to return, to live our lives, and allow the universe or energy, or however you are seeing a deeper power or higher power, manifest them for you. So I'm going to write the words, everyone's intentions, on this one. So you see it, that's what it says there. And so that means that when you're meditating tonight, you're going to be sending energy because you are participating in this meditation. You will be forwarding energy to where I am right now, and it will be gathering in this little slip of paper, and then we will send it off into the flames when we're done tonight. So the next thing we're going to do is pull up the card for the spring equinox, read about what the spring equinox has meant in the past, since ancient times, and what it means for us now. And then that card gets attached to the next reading. We've got 2 cards for a reading that we can keep in mind when we are meditating and when we are reflecting on the intention that we've set. So, first card is going to be the Earth Magic Equinox card, and I've got that set up for you already right here. There's that card. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful card. And so this is the first card of our 2-card reading tonight. This one we knew we were going to draw because I draw it every equinox. And I will read a little more about it. So, of course, the theme of the spring equinox is rebirth. The spring equinox, also called the vernal equinox, occurs on March 20th or 21st in the northern hemisphere, and actually last night it was March 19th, and on September 20th or 21st in the southern hemisphere. This is the point when the sun crosses the plane of the equator, and day and night are the same length across the planet. Earth Mother is pregnant and is birthing once again. Crops can once again be planted. This card features a rendition of Ostara, sometimes called Oestra or Aster, a Germanic goddess of spring. Ostara is also a Northern European name for Astarte, which means womb. It is another name for Venus, the goddess of love, passion, and creativity. The Christian holiday of Easter stems from this goddess, and in this card we see some archetypal symbols of the spring equinox that represent rebirth of the world, such as rabbits, eggs, and flowers. It is indeed a time for renewal. You thought this passage you have been through would never end. Just as certain that the light of the world fades every few months and makes its return, and the earth rejoices. The fresh breath of spring sweeps away the cobwebs acquired from the absence of the light. The light is now obviously increasing as nature begins to emerge in all her many forms, shapes, and colors that remind us of the continual cycles of the Earth Mother. This cycle of rebirth you are experiencing follows a considerably challenging time. Any tears you may have shed have cleared the way for what has been gestating, which is now ripe and ready to emerge. That which no longer serves you needs to be put to rest so that a freshness and newness of spirit can make itself known to you. Sometimes birth can be painful, particularly in that passage just before delivery, yet what emerges can be fresh and beautiful. Be with the emergence of this next cycle with faith and grace. Beautiful, beautiful. So as you can see, rebirth is a theme for the coming months. This is a time that we are nourishing ourselves. We are taking care of the creativity that is bubbling underneath the surface, that is being gestated. All the ideas, all of the things we've been thinking about, the issues and the wonderings of the last few months are now happening. They are now given the opportunity to awaken within us. So we're planting some careful seeds. We are watching the buds bloom in the coming months for a harvest that happens later this year. But for now, this is our time of rebirthing and reawakening of all of the aspects of our lives, and whatever when we choose to focus on for this particular meditation or for our intention. So, rebirth is the theme of the spring equinox, and now we can draw the second card in our reading. So, both of these cards together, the rebirth card as well as the card that we are going to draw now from the Star Codes Astro deck, are going to be the cards that we are working with for our message tonight, for how we're going to take ourselves into our meditation and subsequently to the springtime. So I'm going to shuffle these cards, and I'm going to draw the top card because that's the one that you can see is all of our cards. We're going to agree that for our little reading tonight, our little mini reading, we'll have two cards, the spring equinox card and whatever I draw from the top of this deck once I shuffle it. All right. Here we go. Get that later. So we'll shuffle now. Remember, as I say every week, I'm in my home. I'm the only one here right now. My husband is out, which means that the dogs could bark at any moment, or any ambient noise could happen. The crash of something in my room or outside where I live in the city, you could experience this as well. So it's great that we have created the spot, carved out our meditation space for ourselves. But just remember that any ambient noise that we hear, we can learn to use that to go deeper. It may startle us for a moment, but if we just kind of swing right back and head right back into our deep self, then we can learn to apply this idea wherever we are, so we can be still in any situation. Even if this situation is chaotic, even if we're in a crowded bus or waiting in line at the supermarket or whatever may bring us some tension, we know how to access the stillness in ourselves because we've practiced it. All right, so our top card is all right, so I don't think we've had this card before. It is sixth house. The message for tonight is sustainability. Sustainability. So this is interesting because we've got our rebirth, all the things that are happening in our reawakening. But as many of us know, sometimes all of those epiphanies that come during times of rebirth, they're not sustainable sometimes, or they feel like they are not. So we're going to find out a little bit more about the sustainability in our lives and how that may apply in the coming months once I put this card up for you to see. There she is. She's a little tilted, but so you can take a look at the card. It's a beautiful wheel. We see the Buddha figure there sitting. We see all the chakras. So sustainability, I'm going to imagine that it is about accessing all of our energy centers so that we can use them to sustain ourselves. Isn't that background pretty? So delightful. Sixth house, sustainability card number 44. Again, thinking of this card paired with our spring equinox card. If your chart were a village map, the sixth house would represent the central kitchen, gym, health clinic, and dog park. The sixth house speaks where you live out your daily habits, your work environment, your pets, your mind-body connection, and how you tend to your health. The action of this card says to work smarter, not harder. The opposite of a dysfunctional situation is a sustainable ecosystem. Make your life sustainable. Look at the time, resources, love, care, and sweat you put into your life and assess whether you are putting as much in as you get out and whether you're receiving as much as you put in. The input and output have to match, maybe not every day, but certainly every week or month. You cannot sustain the long haul. The sixth house concerns your daily work, not necessarily your vocation or longed for career. If you're waiting tables to support your acting career, the sixth house speaks both of your day job and what you do toward that dream. Put in some time and effort in your dreams to bring these two paths closer to being one and the same. Assess your work environment. Besides the money and professional trajectory, most jobs offer an opportunity to bump souls with others, a stage to work through karma and round out our personalities. Camaraderie can help create a healthy work environment, and attitude makes all the difference. Watch where you put your mind. Nervousness can turn into chronic anxiety, which taxes the health. Give your mental hamster something worthy to work on and keep them from merely spinning. Look at your daily habits and invest in good self-care. Make healthy food delicious and healthy activities enjoyable. Play with the dog or talk to the wild birds. Time with animals can restore the spirit as well as be great exercise. Our challenge is worry can bring the illusion that we're taking care of business, but it does not further our goals. So we may think that worry and all that time we spend worrying is helping to advance that intention, whatever one we just wrote, but in fact it does none of the kind. The gift is we can create a beautiful and sustainable ecosystem out of our life as we pursue a delicious, healthy work-life balance. So I think this is an important card because it does really address specificity, and that is our day-to-day quote-unquote work. Can we align our vocation and our day-to-day responsibilities more in the coming months? What a great opportunity for this springtime reawakening and renewal. So just a few things about work. We tend to think of the jobs that we have, during the day, that day job, as something that is part of our mission in life, part of our reason to be here. And so we are also trained to want to be happy and feel good. And a lot of times, if we're not happy in our day-to-day job, we're ready to hightail it out as soon as it gets difficult for us, either from the workload or from the people there. My feeling always has been, though I've I've had to really work to keep it in practice. I believe in my heart that if we are in a space, if we were selected to be the employee there, if we were recruited and we go to this place every day, then that place, as this book has said, is the place to connect with others in some way. So maybe the job, quote unquote job, that you're doing at your quote unquote job is not why you are in that space. Perhaps the thing to do is to realize that the job that you have in your job is not really your job. Your job is really to see who needs you in that workplace, in that space that you attend every single day. So that way we don't have to feel trapped by any employment situation. We can go into our work every day thinking, I wonder what I can discover here about how I can use my talents that may or may not be related to my actual workload. I think that is very exciting and hopefully can help you at least get through some more challenging times if you are in a place that you don't really are not really enjoying your job. So, rebirth and sustainability. Let us reawaken ourselves. Let us also remember that all of the hype from that reawakening, all of that exhilaration, we want to learn how to carry on with it long term. So our mission, our message today specifically, and we are going to get more information about this from that deep self as we meditate this evening. But the message is making that rebirth sustainable. When we get a new pet, or when we have a child, when we embark on a new situation that we can't turn back from, we have to regroup. We have to figure out, how am I going to stay with this for the time that I am here? Now, maybe we might find another situation, or maybe the situation changes, but we still must figure out how to make it sustainable, especially when it is overwhelming, or when there's a lot of emotion and adrenaline from those early honeymoon stages of a job or relationship. So be thinking in those terms. How am I sustaining the rebirth, the reawakening that I'm experiencing this spring? And now it's time to get that answer from our deep self. Let us get comfortable. Carve out that little nest for yourself that allows you to be relaxed, yet alert enough to engage in the ideas of the meditation as we go deeper. Once we get comfortable, we begin to pay attention to our breath, inhaling and exhaling. We want to exhale slowly. We want to exhale more slowly than we did when we inhale. So inhale, hold for a moment, and exhale. Inhale again, and hold. And as you exhale, you can allow your eyes to flutter closed, and we see the card there that we've just drawn. I'm going to add, and move this card over a little bit so that we can add the equinox card right here back to back, so that you can take a look at them together as we go into meditation. See where there's similarities. See how they make you feel as you look at these cards. They're up on the screen. You can open and close your eyes as you need to, but just a little vision of each card. As we breathe, inhaling and exhaling. Each breath with each breath, our body becomes more and more relaxed. as we take those breaths in that are full, and as we release them and allow our bodies to relax from our toes all the way up through our legs and hips and our waist and our torso. Up through our neck and our shoulders and down through our arms and out our fingers. Everything is relaxed. Yet we are feeling a little charge of energy as we relax our bodies. And the more relaxed we become, I'm going to invite you now to think of the springtime as you know it. Think of the beautiful mornings. Think of the birds chirping. Think of the beautiful temperate days. Think of your favorite parts of these months. Think of the colorful blooms of the flowers. Think of that wonderful sense of renewal that we feel during the beautiful bright spring days. Maybe you celebrate the Easter holiday. Think of all the good memories that may come from that celebration. If you celebrate Passover, think about what the season means for you if you're celebrating with your family, the community. Anything about these months that you love. Maybe it's the clear blue skies. Maybe it's even the springtime rains. Just imagine yourself in the ideal springtime situation with all of those springtime factors available to you in your own mind. And now I want you to pick out, if you can, your favorite element from spring that you've been thinking about. Maybe it's the fresh rain showers. Maybe it's the flowers themselves. And I want you to imagine yourself becoming that element. If it is a flower, if it is a garden, if it is a tree, like a cherry blossom tree, if your favorite thing of spring is being in a certain place, imagine yourself becoming that place. Envelop, embrace, become your favorite component, idea, experience of spring. And as this favorite part of spring, you have been asleep, hibernating, or perhaps waiting to be born or reborn. And as this element of spring, I want to imagine myself, I want you to imagine yourself feeling the exhilaration of this newness, this freshness of rebirth, the excitement about reinventing yourself or entering a new phase of your life. If you're an element like water or rain, or perhaps you can imagine yourself nourishing the earth, quenching the earth that has longed for your nourishment. If you're a flower or a tree or other planted item, springtime has allowed you to stretch those roots deeper into the earth, as while you stretch your branches and leaves outward, opening them, receiving the sunlight. Whatever it is you've chosen, feel the exhilaration of this reawakening, this re-entry into the world in this way. And we want to ask ourselves, ask our deep self in this space, as we affirm this rebirth, we want to affirm this rebirth, and we want to inquire about our sustainability. So as we go deeper and deeper, traveling closer and closer to our deep, deep self, let us the question of our deep self. I have been reborn this spring. But but I have a lot of living and experiencing to do, O deep self. I've set an intention just moments ago about living fully, about being rebirthed, but now I need to know how to sustain myself, how to build up my tenacity and stamina. How do I continue to be inspired? And our deep self has some ideas about this. So for the next few moments, as we breathe in and breathe out, let us listen to the voice of our deep self. Share with us some suggestions. They're not mandates, they are suggestions about how we might sustain this exhilaration in the coming months so that we can accomplish what we want, so that we can see our intentions be made manifest. What does our deep self have to say about our sustainability? It is possible. It is advised. What does our deep self have to say? So we've been given a few suggestions from our deep self. And we are ready to head back. We are ready to get this springtime started. So let's first of all greet one another in this space as the spring component that we are. The flowers are greeting the streams of water and the raindrops and the rich earth and these celebrations. All of us working together, being together, helping each other sustain ourselves, strengthening and nourishing. As we greet and nod in our own way, we are more than ready now to head back to our physical bodies. And let's just imagine whatever component of spring we have become. Let us imagine that component being contained in the space that we've created for ourselves in our home or office, wherever we are. And let us just imagine very slowly that springtime experience, situation, that favorite springtime thing begins to just fade into our physical human body, which ever so conveniently, as it continues to reappear and be reanimated, feels free from pain and distress. We feel so comfortable. Our emotional angst has subsided, and we are fully ready for the rebirth into the world. And let us fully return by taking 3 deep breaths together. Inhale and exhale. Inhale again and exhale. And one more deep breath as we inhale and return. It was fun taking that little journey, becoming that element of springtime. I hope you're able to go there in your own mind. I hope you're able to receive some information from not just the cards, but from that deep self that help you put some of the information from the cards together to make it all make sense for the intention that you've written here. It all works together. Hopefully it is something that you can walk away and it'll help you in your decision making and in your perspective of the world that you are creating for you. So let us send this out into the flames. This is mine first. Da, 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 da. There she goes, burning away. And as she burns, so she returns. Our intention, indeed. This is everyone's intentions. You've sent me that energy. I have felt it. Let us burn away. Away, 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 away. And so that is it. Let's see who's here. Sue, the faithful, the most faithful Sue. Thank you for being here today. And thank you for chatting with me. As always, I love you. And hopefully I'll see you soon. And let's check the other socials that we are supposedly broadcasting on tonight. There's Joyce. Joyce! Hello. Happy spring to you. Smiley, happy spring to you. Nice to hear you and Wade on the games, moving through your little territories there. And just, I get a lot of comfort out of it, you know? So glad that's how happening. Let's see. There's Monica. Hi, Monica. Happy spring to you and to Sleepy Moon Farms. Hope all of your animals, everything's awakening there and becoming more and more alive. And hopefully I'm going to get to see it sometime very soon. And let's just check Facebook one more time because I love you guys. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody. Again, if you happen to catch this at another time, not this live stream, you're still part of the energy here. You're still here celebrating spring. Thank you for doing so. And your energy is still here. So you can still leave a comment. You can still say, hey, you can still let us know how you have been progressing or advancing on your spiritual journey. And since this is the first day of spring, let's do a little check-in about this as we move through. Springtime, time of rebirth, reawakening. How is it happening to you? Let us know. I love you all. And with that, we can say good night, and a good spring is ahead of for all of us. Let's go live it.